Hey, welcome back. Fingers crossed, hopefully, to Everything College Basketball presents In the Press or In the Zone Press, the show, the YouTube show, not the podcast. We say back especially because we've tried this once before and something happened. So we pray you guys can hear us on the other end. With that being said, I'm Josh Burton. Turn that shit down, then. Jesus, I'm Josh.
Hey, we got it.
This is
Peyton Burton.
This is Peyton that doesn't know how to mute his phone. Burton. Of course, Tyler Cook's with us. You just seen him pop up.
Booyah.
And with us, our friend, owner, host of Everything Pro Wrestling, extraordinaire, soon-to-be father like Tyler, everything. Wraps in one. Our friend from the snowy north of Buffalo. Everybody, please welcome Mr. Conrad Kushman. Conrad, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Can't wait to talk some North Carolina Duke.
Yes, sir. Talk it again. We had a hell of a show going before it screwed up. We had this show that nobody heard.
Peyton's fucking Fortnite headset screwed us up.
It probably was. And you know, Conrad, kind of what it reminds me of was In Your House, Beware a Dog, and was it 96, the show where the lights went out in South Carolina, the Stone Cold Savio Vega strap match that nobody saw.
The greatest match nobody ever saw.
Oh, man. Well, Conrad, he alluded to it. It's part two of the greatest rivalry in college basketball. Duke, Carolina. Coming off of the first matchup earlier, obviously not without controversy. You had Zion going out for Duke within the first 35 seconds of the game, blown shoe. We've covered that debacle, nothing like I've ever seen before. Zion still hasn't played. He still has not laced or tucked the floor. You hear rumors here and there about what he's going to do. I'll give you a spoiler or a prediction on my end here soon. But with that being said, Carolina put the beat down on Duke in front of their home fans, in front of Obama, in front of ESPN, people who were stupid enough to pay $3,000 for a ticket in the camera. Ridiculous. Carolina just waxed that ass for them. And I know, Conrad, sir, you hope that for senior night in Chapel Hill, the story's still more the same, more of that Carolina ass whooping, huh?
I do. If you look at my predictions right now, though, I know Sam in the group is probably going to punch me if he saw it, but I have Duke written down because I'm not sure, because I'm still waiting for the Zion news. I'm playing it like Johnny Stroud, and me and him are actually neck and neck in the polls. So every move is very calculated by me.
Hey, good plug too for this is the final week of the pick-ems and triple point of mania running wild, brother.
How many points is on the table?
60 points. 60. I mean, there's people on the outside, middle of the pack that could still win this thing. So, nice little plug there. Tyler, obviously, Zion. He plays. Duke's a different team. He doesn't play Duke's a completely another team. Duke looks human. So human that Wake Forest about beat him. Assuming Zion doesn't play, continues this trend and misses his fifth game in a row on Saturday. Without going prediction real in depth just yet, no Zion, what do you anticipate Duke looking like when they take the floor?
I alluded to it before, whenever I mentioned the first Duke-Carolina matchup, I didn't say their rankings for a reason, because this game, no matter who's on it, no matter who's in the game, it's a different level of play. And you've seen it year in and year out. It doesn't matter who's high or who low. You always have a good basketball game. So without Zion, with Zion, I believe it's going to be a good one regardless. 5-point game this time. RJ and Cam are going to step up. Trey may do something. I highly doubt it. But on the flip side, I see Luke coming to play again. We got Cam Reddish, or not Cam, Kobe White. He's going to play well.
Yeah.
And Johnson's going to do well too. I think this is going to be a big clash for the big names of this game.
Oh yeah, I agree. And Peyton, he mentioned one-star freshman point guard who's on the upward trajectory in Kobe White. Kobe's playing well, dropping 20, 30 points a game, keeping his turnovers low, assist rates going up, all the intangibles you need playing well for a point guard is playing well. But on the flip side, somebody who was playing extremely well, but on the decline a little bit, would be his counterpart, Trey Jones.
You might say Kobe White's on shooting stars, and Trey Jones is on sinking ships because he's not playing well. These past games, I don't know what his problem is. I don't know what's going on with him. But I was really high on him. I placed him on the podcast 3 weeks ago, whenever it was, whenever Duke played against St. John's, and Trey Jones locked up Shamoy Pons, who's a great player, great scorer for St. John's. He locked him up to like 7 points. He had him under double digits, I believe, which is crazy. Like I said, Pons is a great player, but he's just not doing well defensively. I don't know. I just don't know what's going on with him. And he's one of my favorite players in Duke.
Yeah, and he's just not shooting the ball well. He's not. I don't think he's really turning the ball over a lot, but he's not shooting the ball well. His defensive pressure is not what it was at the beginning of the year, and he's just not the same player. So it's really a tale of, two different people at the same position on one's trajectory. But this is the type of game that can change everything.
Yeah.
This is the type of game that could really get a guy like Trey Jones going again. If he locks up Kobe White, if he puts a big monstrous game up, 25 points, 12 assists, whatever. And he's going to need to, because Kobe is the straw that stirs the drink for Carolina, much like Trey is for Duke. Kobe's ability to get inside the lane, create for himself and create for others. I mean, how hot? There might be a hotter shooter in America, but you'd have to put Cam Johnson in the top 5 shooters in America right now. Does any of you guys disagree with that? Cam Johnson's lighting the nets up right now.
Top 5, absolutely.
Yes, I would agree.
So, Cam Johnson's stroking. You got a guy like Luke May. Luke May had an outstanding first game against Duke this season. What did he go for? 31 and 15. And he's an undersized guy. Like, you think of a guy that gets 15 rebounds or averages, I think, like 10, 11, like he does.
Yeah.
You think of either a big athletic dude or somebody crazy athletic.
Yeah.
He's neither. He's kind of just a big white dude, but not too big. Yeah, it's really weird. But he just fights for it. To me, rebounding's all effort. Rebounding has very little to do with skill. It's about effort, who wants it more. And he puts himself in a great position to get an offensive rebound, especially defensive rebounds. He blocks out. He's a guy that's a matchup problem. And then we alluded to it. This game coming up is going to be senior night. You add into it Duke, Carolina. You add into game day is going to be there. You add into it these two are playing for the ACC regular season crown along with Virginia. Like, all the intangibles, their top 10 matchups, yada, yada, yada. And it's senior day, senior night. Conrad, just play along with me here. You're a Carolina fan. Envision yourself back in the day. You were good enough to go to Carolina and wear that baby blue. What would be your emotions? Not just let alone on senior night, but you're playing freaking Duke on senior night. Your last game inside of the Dean Dome in Chapel Hill. What do you take me through what your emotions would be going through as your student night?
I think that it's key for anybody who's played any kind of sport at any level. You know that you have rivalries, and I think those games matter just a little bit more, even if it's a regular season, a preseason. I don't care what it is. Oftentimes in basketball, we would play a team, even if it was a tournament that wasn't ours and they just happened to be in there. You're going to play that team just a little bit tougher because there's kind of a pride thing that goes behind it too. And I think that's what influences these games and what makes the fans go so crazy for it, and that it's locality and how close it is with each other.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine being a guy like Kenny Williams, being a guy like Luke May, putting on that baby blue in front of the home crowd one more time, but also knowing that the last time you do this is against your absolute most hated rival, Duke. Couldn't even imagine that feeling of nervousness, anxiousness, and just adrenaline.
Yeah, I seen a thing today on Luke May. He said, I wasn't even nobody expected me to even play here. Nobody expected me to do this. Nobody expected me to do that. He's been showing out his entire collegiate career. So he knows what it's like to step up. He knows what it's like to do in these type of games. So Luke, he's there. The blood's boiling already. I guarantee you, it's hard for him to sleep knowing this is going to be his last game against the Duke. But it's not a bad thing for this guy. He is ready and raring to go, and I'm excited to see Luke come to play again.
Yeah, what do you guys? I'll put it to all three of you because I have my opinion. But I'm curious for what makes a guy like Luke May so like such a what's the word I'm looking for? He makes him such a matchup problem. We'll put it that way because he's not athletic. He's not the strongest guy. He's not the fastest. He doesn't shoot the ball as well as most. But yet he finds himself, he has ever since his sophomore year, finds himself in situations where he's producing at a high, like an extremely high level for a team like North Carolina. We'll go kind of round table here. Peyton, to you, what makes Luke May special?
He comes to play every game, no matter if it's a big-time game against Duke or a small-time game against, I don't know, Lipscomb or something like that. He comes to play. He comes to play his heart out. He gives 110% every game. And even if it is a big game like Duke or Kentucky back 2 years ago when he hit that big shot that really made his name, he just makes big-time plays. And it helps that he can really stretch out the floor. He's not the greatest shooter in the world. He's not like a Cam Johnson good, not like that. But he can still stretch it out and shoot. I mean, he dropped 31 points and 15 boards against Duke the last matchup. That's incredible.
Yeah.
He's a special player.
Conrad, when you see a guy like Luke May, especially producing the way he has over a period of time at a school like North Carolina against the highest competition, like how? Like to you, what stands out about a kid like that?
When I think about him, I visualize thinking of like playing on a bunch of different teams. And I've told you guys on the podcast on anchor.fm, make sure you guys check it out, that I've played in many different roles on teams, but I've always felt that I was an important piece to the team. I've never been the guy that they've built around. And I feel the same way with Luke May. Yes, but he may get, what does he average? 2 assists? But he can also go off at any given moment, and that's the last thing you want. And I think he's kind of like the heart and soul behind the scenes for the team and someone who everyone can rally around and say, you know what? He's playing well. We got to step it up and play well. He reminds me kind of a Draymond Green. He's only 6'8", playing his position, and there are other guys on the team way taller than him. I see guys who are 6'11", 6'10" on the team, and he's starting over them.
I think go ahead.
No, I was going to say that there's a reason for that, and that he has heart. I think heart's a factor that you can't measure.
I think it's a really good point. I like the Draymond comparison in ways. Tyler, to you, I mean, a guy like Luke May doing it for as long as he has at Carolina, what's it say to you?
He's intelligent. He can read the floor. He's patient. You know, you see these guys that are super athletic and they see just a half a glimpse of hope and they try and barrel through there and they get a charge taken. Luke May doesn't. He'll take that step back and hit that 15-footer. If you zone in on this guy and watch the way that he dissects the defense, especially in the zone, the guy knows to stay behind the bottom defenders and then pop up to get a spot in the middle. He knows where the short corner is when the ball skips to the other side. He's such an intelligent player and knows where to put himself in a position to get high percentage shots. He's not like this. I mean, Zion's a freak, but Zion will jump over top of you, do all this stuff, and he can make up for small mistakes. Luke doesn't have that margin of error that other guys do that can make up with it with their leaping athletic ability. You know, you say the Draymond Green, Conrad. I believe he reminds me a lot of my Perry Ellis. You know, one of my favorite Jayhawks of all time. You know, they're both great comparisons. Just the way that these guys were kind of undersized at the position, all three, and they just find a way to get in there and get buckets. And it's a cool thing to see because when you see a 4 now, you're like, man, he needs to be like LaMarcus Aldridge or something like this, super tall, can stretch you out. But old school's coming back, and we're seeing these big guys down there banging, and Luke's right there in the middle. And it's cool to see. it's really cool to see as far as that goes.
I think, and not just like sucking up to all three, I really do think all three of you have hit the nail on the head, like encapsulated what makes a guy like Luke May special.
Yeah.
You've mentioned the intelligence, you've mentioned the heart. I think heart's a big one. And I like the comparisons of Draymond Green and Perry Ellis. Perry Ellis is a really good one as well. Here's one. He's not like slow, but he's not fast. But he uses that to an advantage. Like Tyler said, he's not going to barrel through a hole that's not there. He's not going to go 100 miles an hour and have a silly turnover or commit a charge simply because he can't go at that gear. But playing in a system in Roy Williams that plays where you're constantly running up and down, especially that's dependent on the big man who can take off. If you're not getting the rebound underneath on defense, your ass is sprinting to the rim, or you're sprinting out and setting up for a jump shot, or you're sprinting trailing, for a drag screen. He's quick enough, but he's also slow enough that keeps himself out of bad situations. And it's a crazy, crazy hybrid. He knocks out shots when he needs to. He's a big, and one of you mentioned about the intelligence as well. You watch him. Say like Carolina runs we'll just say an up top weave handoff. Okay, he's smart enough and experienced enough as a senior that if he's dribbling to hand the ball off and say a guy like Trey Jones jumps it, he's not going to hold the ball out like a lot of younger guys would or guys who don't have high basketball IQ so the ball gets stolen. Yeah. He's going to either pick the ball up and wait for somebody else to cut, or he's going to keep the ball himself and dribble around and make a play happen. It's like when you're undersized, under-athletic, all that, you have to do stuff. Luke Mesa, even though he hit that shot against Kentucky that put his name on the map a couple years ago in Elite Eight, he's an intelligent, extremely fun player. Now let's go ahead and he's got this big shadows hanging over him in this matchup, and we'll go ahead and get right into it. He went off for 31. I think he's capable of doing that with or without Zion playing. But the reality of it is, if Zion Williamson plays, that's more than likely who he's guarding. He's guarding Luke May, and Luke's probably not getting those looks he's getting. And that's the reality of it. We talk about it. I can't tell you on a major team. Now, you see it a lot of times. Our friend Chris Clemens from Campbell. You take him off Campbell's garbage, right? Take Zion off Duke. Duke's still good. You put him on there, and they're great. I've not seen a player be this dominant in it's been a little while. It's been 5, 6, 7 years or however long. So let's go ahead and get into it and kind of break down some individual matchups, dissect this game a little bit. Tyler, we will start with you. Let's just stick with the whole Zion. Let's just assume he plays. Zion Williamson plays on Saturday. What's your kind of outlook on this? How's it changed Duke, and how does it affect North Carolina?
Duke, they get that rim protector back, so they're more apt to get up into the defense on the perimeter because they'll have that slip behind them. If he doesn't play, it's going to be more of the same. I think they're going to be timid. They don't have that guy. They're going to be timid of Luke May of what he did. Kobe White's playing awesome. They're going to be scared of that. I mean, it's just with the talent that Duke has, I don't see how they falter so much even without this guy. And they've shown, with Wake Forest the other day, Virginia Tech knocked them off. They lost 2 of their last 5. This could be 3 of their last 6 coming up very easily. Zion, I seen a thing where it said Zion is in stage 4 of a 4-step rehabilitation program, and he's completed it. So, I mean, take it what you will. I don't think he's going to play. I don't care if he plays because Luke May is smart enough to get the guy off the ground and go around a little bit. It's not going to be a 30-point game for Luke if Zion plays, but he'll get in the high teens, low 20s. Luke is that intelligent of a player that he can go around a freak like this.
Conrad, I like to keep it on the Carolina perspective with you because you are a Carolina fan. So it'd be no different than Louisville. Peyton gives that perspective. So you're our residential Carolina guy for this matchup. Zion plays as a Carolina fan. A, what's going through your head when you're preparing to watch your boys play? And B, what effect from Carolina's perspective do you think the Zion effect will have should he play?
If Zion plays, I'm thinking shit. I think he's that good and a dominant of a player that this kid's going top 3 NBA draft, forbidding any worse injuries. This kid's going top 3. So absolutely nerves kick in. Hence why I said in the beginning, Duke is currently listed as my pick. And I think tomorrow's going to be when I finally sit down. I'm like, okay, this is who I'm picking. And I know Sam will punch me. Don't punch me, Sam, please. I know we're Tar Heel guys together. He's going to be like, you phony. But I need the points. And I'm sorry, your second question was?
just let's assume for just talking sake, Zion plays on Saturday. What's the effect from your end? How does it affect Carolina, basically?
I think Carolina's going to have to figure out it's not going to be a breeze like last time because an injury in a game can make a team discombobulated, I guess is the best word I can use. You look lost. You don't know what to do. The game plan changed in the middle of the game because of an exploding sneaker. What the F? What do we do? With this, if I'm North Carolina, you're going to have to find some schemes and some ways to stop all of their Duke players. You can't let RJ go off. You cannot let that happen, or you might as well say GG, it's over, because this kid can still score. Even without Zion, like you guys said, this is still an amazing team. They just haven't found their footing without him yet, and they're not comfortable. You could tell. So you can't let even Cam Reddish, you can't let any of these guys go off. So they're going to have to play smart defense, lockdown defense, and they're going to have to smother these guys, in my opinion.
I think you're right, Peyton. I think, and you can tell me, Zion playing obviously changes the dynamic of Duke's offense, their defensive schemes. It affects North Carolina in many ways. I still think if you're Carolina that you have to push the basketball with or without, especially honestly if Zion plays, if I'm Carolina, you're already running anyways, but I try to run even more. I try to run on makes. Duke hits a shot, I'm still trying to get the ball in net because I want to put pressure on that ankle. I know that sounds bad, but if he's playing, it's fair game, right? Yeah. So put him in high ball screen. Bring him out, see how well he defends laterally on that ankle. Okay? Push it. Wear his conditioning out. What say you? Zion plays. What's the effects from a Duke aspect?
From a Duke aspect, well, first matchup, Carolina dominated them in the paint. And if Zion's there to send, if someone misses a matchup or misses an assignment, or someone like Kobe White goes to drive to the lane, tries to pull the floater, Zion's sitting that shit in the 12th row. Like, it's not even going to be close. Zion's going to be a force in the paint, kind of like Cook said. He's going to be that rim protector that Duke needs, and it's going to be a hard time for Carolina to score inside the paint. Zion plays, and he's going to be that rim protector. Carolina's going to have to hit shots. And I know they got players who can do it. Kobe White's been shooting the ball pretty well here lately. Cam Reddish, nearly 48% from three, last time I checked. And Kenny Williams can hit some threes a little bit. Luke May can stretch it out, etc. You know what I mean? They're still going to have to prove they're going to hit shots outside consistently.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I just thought you were done.
Yeah, I was done.
I'll give you guys – I'm just going to say a name. And I think he has to be big because he's been so inconsistent and a former five-star kid that nobody actually said he's the Zion lockup. He's not Ruben Patterson calling the Kobe stopper back in the day. But by all accounts, back when they were in high school, the McDonald's All-American game, the Jordan brand, all that, this dude did lock up Zion Williamson pretty consistently. And who I'm talking about is oh my God, Nasir Little. My brain just locked up myself. All three of you, Nasir Little, a very important piece. North Carolina not only wants to win this game, North Carolina wants to win a national championship. They need a guy like Nasir Little, a wing defender, a 5-star athlete, a lottery pick in this year's upcoming draft, presumably, at least projected. Nasir Little, yes or no, needs to come out of his shell for this game for Carolina to win. Well, if Zion, we'll say, Kevin, if Zion plays, we're just assuming Zion plays, Nasir Little needs to play well for Carolina to win. True or false?
Because all fairness to Luke May, but Zion's bigger than him. He's stronger than him, faster, taller, more athletic. He's going to bully Luke May. Luke May might be smarter than him, being a senior to a freshman, but still, man, Zion's tough, taster guard, and Nasir Little, you said it, not locked him up, but he did a pretty good job defending him in the McDonald's All-American game. Nasir Little needs to play well. He's been so inconsistent this year. Like, you never know what Nasir Little you're going to get. You don't know if you can get the Nasir Little who dropped like 18 points against Virginia Tech, who had a hell of a game, or Nasir Little is going to have like 4 points, 2 rebounds, and a couple of turnovers. You don't know.
Conrad, true or false? Nasir Little. Zion plays, Nasir Little needs to have a good game for Carolina to win. True or false?
Truth.
Go ahead, Conrad.
Because I think there's more to it than him just needing to play well for North Carolina. When I see him, I think he's someone who needs to stay one more year. I don't know why. I just don't feel he's NBA ready yet. He's going to have to get on the right team, and he's going to have to get some good coaching to make sure he's NBA ready if he is going to make that move. But I don't know. He needs to do it, but the question is, can he? And there's a little bit of doubt in my mind because of how well Zion plays. And if he's out there, there's no room for error because this is going to be a close game, in my opinion. Separated by a couple points, like we've said in some of the past games. It's going to be a big game for him, and he needs to show out and prove to himself why he belongs in the NBA, and that would be what the key thing for him to be motivated in that matchup would be.
Very true. Tyler, true or false?
I'm going the other way. False. They got these two-headed monster right now between Kobe White and Luke May. You know, you got Johnson in the background too. These guys have been doing it extremely well since that Virginia game. They even played Virginia very tough. But 8-point game, you know, got held a little bit on the shooting there, but they played tough. And they're doing it without Nasir Little being consistent. Now, and they did it the last game without him doing very well either. So it's been proven that they can beat Duke without Nasir stepping up. Now, if he does, that's a huge plus. But I think it's a false thing to go with because the way they've been playing lately without him playing consistent.
And that's fair. That's fair. And Conrad, I'd like your point about Nasir Little. It's not going to happen. He's been projected a lottery pick the whole year coming into Carolina. But I do agree because more so he hasn't lived up to that potential at all, in my opinion. He's got all the talent in the world. Still needs to work on his jump shot, finding it consistently. But more important than that, he needs to find his effort consistently. There's times he just doesn't look like he plays hard.
Yeah.
And you can't go into the league. I don't care how good you are. You're not that good where you can just take off nights because the league will eat you up. And I agree. I think he needs one more year. And Tyler, you're not wrong either. I do think Nasir Little needs, if Carolina's going to win a title, let alone this game, but if Carolina's going to win a title, they need a guy like Nasir Little playing up to his talent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that they absolutely need that. And Conrad mentioned it too. What a better game to get going than playing against the Dukies on senior night. So Let's go ahead and get into some keys. I'll go ahead and give mine real quick. Carolina wins this ball game on Saturday if, number one, they push the basketball like normal. They must get out in transition and get easy ones. Because no matter how iffy Duke's defense, and this was with or without Zion, no matter how iffy their defense is, Duke will bring it in this matchup. Carolina needs to create easy points at the rim or create easy three-point shots, run transition like normal. Number two, you're top 5 in the nation in offensive rebounding percentage. continue to crash the glass. More importantly, it's another thing. Create easy second chance, sometimes third chance opportunities for yourself. Throw them in at the rim, but be very cautious too. Don't get overzealous because Duke's got all sorts of firepower to hit you with basically a counter. But I still say crash the glass. That's one of your strengths. Third and finally for me, hit threes. I know it seems like I say that the last couple times with the teams like Tennessee and stuff. North Carolina is inconsistent shooting the three ball. They need to shoot the ball well because Duke has showed in the last couple of years under Coach K, they will go zone. Like they're not afraid, especially if they're in foul trouble or something. They will go zone, and well, that's actually what they did to Louisville. They went zone down 23 and killed Louisville. I mean, they were pressing, but they killed Louisville in that zone in the half court. They will go zone. Not Louisville. North Carolina must hit threes. I'd say probably hit 8 or 9 to 10 of them, if not more, just to open them up, keep Duke honest. That way you can kill them with your offense, dribble drives, and all that. Carolina wins. They needed those three things. Duke wins. RJ Barrett must take better shots. He had a game the other night here recently where he took 29 or 30 field goal attempts. Everybody knows he goes left, and he still goes left. But he has a problem where he seeks a shot out a lot, and that's all he thinks about, it seems like. I mean, yes, he can get red hot. He can absolutely go scoreless, come out in the second half and drop 13 plays. He needs to get 25, have less than 3 turnovers, and help out rebounding the ball and all the other stuff. Because if not, it's going to be another long night. I think Cam Reddish needs to shoot the ball extremely well again. I think Cam has got to continue to shoot at a high 50% clip, between 48, 50, 55% clip from three. Cam Reddish needs a continuous hot streak. And then the third one, they need to defend somebody. Duke has got to get back to great on-ball pressure, great help side and over taking charge, have guys like Javon DeLaurier, Marcus Bolden, Jack White, people like that blocking your shot at the rim, taking charges, all that stuff that made Duke great in the beginning part, made them look like they were just world beaters. Those are my keys for the game. I'll save my prediction here in just a little bit when we get around to everybody. Just for now, Peyton, keep it. Keys of the game. No prediction.
No prediction. Keys for the game, I'll start with Duke. Number 1, win the rebounding battle. If you can keep UNC off the glass, that will help you tremendously in this game, especially with May. Number 2, keep UNC from running in transition. You mentioned it earlier. These boys love to run, and they'll do so easily. So if you keep them from running in transition, that will also help you. And my third and final key for the Dukies are RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, and Trey Jones need to have a good game, especially if Zion Williamson does not play. Duke needs their 3 stars to play well if you want to avenge that loss to UNC on your home court in North Carolina senior night. You said it, RJ Barrett, 25 points or more. I say Cam Reddish needs to score 20 points or more. Trey Jones needs to have at least a double-double, and he needs to get his defensive mojo back. He can do it. Even without, you don't need Zion really to, if you miss an assignment to send the shit in third row or anything like that, you can pressure the ball and get your defensive mojo back. You can do it. So those are my 3 keys for Duke. Now going into Carolina, 3 keys for North Carolina. Number 1, Cam Johnson needs to hit shots from deep. You said the whole team. I said specifically Cam Johnson. He shoots nearly 48% from 3, and if he gets hot, there's no stopping that brother. He can score the lights out. Number 2, and this goes the same thing as Duke. This is for both teams. Win the rebounding battle. Whoever can control the glass will tip the odds in their favor, in my opinion. My final key for North Carolina Tar Heels, the 2 seniors on the team, excluding Cam Johnson, Luke May and Kenny Williams, need to come out and play their asses off. This will be their last game in Chapel Hill, and maybe the last game against Duke. maybe if they meet in the ACC tournament. You do not want to lose on your home court in Chapel Hill in your final game to your most hated rival, the Duke Blue Devils. That's not something you do not want to do. It'll eat you alive. You do not want that to happen. So come out, show out, and play your hearts out. Because in my opinion, you need to be ready for a war. Because if Zion plays or if he doesn't play, I think this game is going to be a hell of a game. So those are my keys for Duke and Carolina.
All right. Conrad.
I'm going to go a little bit of a different route. You guys kind of echoed a lot of what I was thinking, but the key for both teams, I'm going to say, come down to these three things. I have rebounds and transition buckets is going to be very important on both sides of the ball. How fast can you get up the court? How fast can you do some damage, whether it's a three or you can get inside the paint and get a layup, whatever you're going to try and do, get to the line. They all have to execute, and that's an obvious thing. Next, I have don't sleep on the coaching, especially in a close game. When it comes down to the coaching situations, I think a lot of times people are forgetting that we have Coach K and Roy Williams coaching both these teams, two elite coaches that you cannot sleep on. You don't want to be in a close game situation with either coach calling a play, designing something to get an easy bucket. We saw it earlier in the year with Duke, and you don't want to be a victim to a three-pointer to a play that made you look silly. And last but not least, role players. This game is going to come down to who steps it up from the role players. We just talked about some people for Duke and North Carolina who could do better numbers, and I think whoever's role players step it up are going to win this game.
Real quick before we get to Cook, I like you brought up role players because a guy like Jack White or the McConnell kid from Duke could end up deciding this ball game just on offensive rebound, or the McConnell kid hitting a couple threes. Or even in the Carolina a factor, a guy like Seventh Woods, who's up and down as well, getting 12, 14 points. That's maybe unexpected. I like that because normally in a lot of times in a game like this, it's a guy or two that steps up and has key plays at the right times to give that little bit of separation needed. I like that. Tyler, your keys for the game.
I really only got one from each side. The first game with Duke, RJ and Cam scored 60 of the 72 points. Marquise Bolden didn't score. Trey Jones, 3 points. The bench had 9 points total. Terrible. Important cast. I mean, you can have that left and right hook, but if you don't have a few body shots in there from the rest of the guys, it's not going to work. So the supporting cast for Duke has to be there. Trey Jones especially. That's basically the biggest thing that I've seen for Duke stick out in my mind. So that's basically it for me as far as that, because they're smart enough to do everything. They're not going to shoot 20% again from three-point land. They're going to shoot better than that. They just need to step up a little bit bigger. You know, I made a little rhyme last time about Luke May come to play. I got another one here. Kobe White's going to do you right, boys. Kobe White's going to step up, 30 points plus. And if he doesn't get 30 points, maybe we're going to see a triple-double. We're going to see something special out of this kid. He's going to put some numbers up. He's going to do something really, really nice. So that's basically what I got, man. I don't have nothing really in depth here. Just one bold prediction and one couple stats that stuck out from my mind on the Duke side.
I like that. Kobe White gonna make it right. I like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Okay. Prediction time. Okay. Here we go. Prediction time. The game of the day. Duke, Carolina. The rematch. Any other superlatives you want to put? Conrad said it earlier in our first episode of this first try that screwed up. It's like Stone Cold versus The Rock. So we'll go ahead and lead off with our guest, Mr. EPW himself. Carolina versus Duke. Conrad, give me your prediction and a score.
I am going to go with North Carolina out of my pure biasness, and I will say that the score is going to be, I'm going to go 77-74.
I like it. Peyton.
Oh, man.
And real quick, not while he's thinking, It's a good thing that one asshole that we used to have in the group, that Jason dude, didn't hear you, Conrad, because he would have called you out for having your blue blinders on.
King Palm predicted this game, predicted North Carolina to come out with a W, 84-83. I agree with the score. I just do not know about this game. I do not know who I'm going to pick. One reason and one reason only. This is more because everyone else's reasons too. If Zion plays or not. If Zion plays, Duke wins. If he doesn't, and I got Carolina winning 87-84. So for predictions wise, as of right now, it's being rumored that Zion's doubtful to play. So I'm going off that. But if he does play, I'm picking Duke. But for prediction's sake, since he's not playing, Conrad, I'm going with you, brother. Tar Heels win.
Brother, he carried it over from the freaking podcast. Brother. Oh my God, what the hell's wrong?
You got a broken record sometimes. You got a little glitch in it.
Brother.
Let me tell you something here, brother.
Cook, go ahead with yours. Brother.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a rat's ass about Kim Palm. ESPN stats can lick my nuts too. It's senior night. It's the biggest game for these boys. Luke May is going to go out on a bang. These boys are going to do it. North Carolina, 84-76.
I like it. So as you heard on the podcast this past Sunday, episode 14, now available everywhere you find podcasts.
Yep.
Or go to Facebook. Go to our Facebook group. Find our video that we did, or go to Premier Giant Productions, Facebook, whatever. You will have heard, and my bank on it. Zion Williamson returns, puts up 35 or more, and take down the Tar Heels. Since then, I have had a change of heart. No, I haven't. It stays the same. Swerve, bro. Zion plays Saturday. Zion eats Saturday. Duke evens the regular season. They split it. Duke East 86, Carolina 81. I had to do it. I had to stay with my prediction. That's just kind of the reality of it, because I think Zion's that much of a difference maker. Before we get out of here, let's go ahead and show some love to a conference tournament that will be decided this weekend, actually. There will be 3 of them that will be decided, 3 or 4 of them that will be decided this weekend, but this one started. This kicked off the week, what we call Champ Week. The Atlantic Sun, a conference that's going to get 1 team. It's a 1-bid league. It's not even a mid-major conference. It's a small conference. And as I mentioned, their conference tournament kicked off the tournament season. You had number 1 Lipscomb a couple days ago, knocked off the 8 seed Kennesaw State. You had New Jersey Institute of Technology, which sounds fake. I know it sounds fake. It sounds like a movie, but no, it's real. They knocked off Florida Gulf Coast. Remember, was it Lob City or Dunk City?
Lob City.
Lob City. Knocked them off from a few years ago. North Florida knocks off North Alabama. Liberty all over Jacksonville. Tonight, they played the semifinal games. Lipscomb, the number 1 seed, advances to the championship. The number 2 seed, Liberty, advances to the championship. So you have 1 versus 2. Winner goes to the NCAA tournament, becomes the first. Well, okay, by the time the championship's played, it's not, but we'll say for this sake, becomes the first team to punch their bid to the big dance, becomes the first Cinderella to get their slipper, all the superlatives you want. Both these teams tied in the regular season in Atlantic Sun. They tied in the conference race. Both teams 20-plus wins. Both teams are underrated on the national scene, and both teams, with the right matchup in the NCAA, could pull off one of those crazy upsets as like a 14, 15, 13 seed. With that said, Conrad, who wins and punches their ticket to March Madness from the Atlantic Sun?
Going with Liberty.
Simple as that. Tyler.
I've been trying to follow these games this past week to kind of get a grasp on who's breaking away. You know, I don't like going against Liberty, but I'm going to have to. I'm believing Lipscomb's going to get this one.
Peyton.
These two teams in the regular season split the regular season. They played twice. Lipscomb won one of them. Liberty won the second one. And somehow Lipscomb got the number 1 seed, got the tiebreaker, which is confusing to me. But you asked us on the Facebook group, and I say Lipscomb will defeat Liberty and punch their ticket into March Madness, baby.
We will make this a split between the panel because I will agree with Conrad. I'm going Liberty Flames to take their bid and their place in the NCAA tournament, which will send Lipscomb into the NIT because they will be a conference champion regular season that it makes tournament, go to NIT. But Liberty, the Liberty Flames, Liberty ringing free come March Madness Selection Sunday. This is the fun part, guys. This is the fun part about this time of year. It's fun for us to watch big conferences, the SEC, Big 12, ACC, Big 10, you name them. Not the Pac-12, they suck. It's fun for us to watch those big conferences and like, oh my God, let's see these matchups because you get to see the conference play goes about for 2 months. When you watch these games and you see like whoever play whoever like once in a month. But with these tournaments, you'll see them play 3 really good teams within 3 days possibly. But it's even better. This time of year is better to watch the mid-majors and the small conferences that only get 1 bid normally and watch them fight out for their dreams because that's the best, man. You're going to watch Lipscomb and Liberty, for instance, on Sunday afternoon after we're done with the live show, and you'll watch the joy and the excitement and the heartbreak from one side to the other because they've either lived out a dream of making the NCAAs or their dreams just been crushed. And in big conference tournaments, you don't always get that because a lot of times these teams know that they're either in or where they're going or this, that, and the other. These small conferences, this is what Champ Week and like this is what makes March that people don't even talk about a lot of times. This will be fun. I can't wait. We've got the Atlantic Sun, the Ohio Valley, the Missouri Valley, and there's one more off the top of my head that'll be decided between Saturday and Sunday. 4 berths.
Right?
I think it is the Horizon. Yeah. 4 berths, 4 tickets punched, 4 teams from conferences that are 1 bid leagues more than likely, getting the thrill of a lifetime to know that they're locked into the NCAA tournament. What more could you ask for? What more could you ask for?
We're going to see some court rushes, boys, and I don't see nobody going to get mad about these. This is going to happen. They're going to be out there cutting the nets down with their teams. It's going to be cool to see. This is what you get. This is what it's all about, man, out there with your fans, people following you all year. You finally get a chance to play on a big network, ESPN, for the Atlantic Sun on Sunday, 3 p.m. Check it out after we get done with our podcast. You got to watch us too. Just make sure. But it's going to be a fun game. And just watching the coaches go wild too, man. It's such a neat experience. I've been saying it all year. If you're just watching the big conferences, you're missing out on some good basketball. Here's a very, very good opportunity to check it out.
That's a really good point, too, about getting to play on a national scene. Because a lot of times, like, if you're nuts like we are, we're watching these teams at least a couple times throughout the year. We're getting on the ESPN 3s. We're getting all that. But it's a nice chance for the national audience to get a chance. What else do you got more to do on a Sunday? Watch these games. Watch the excitement. Watch the joy when the buzzer goes on. Whether it's a buzzer beater or whether a team wins by 50. When that final buzzer sounds and your team's won and punch the ticket, Conrad, watch the excitement and the joy. And Tyler, you mentioned it. This is one of the only times that I approve of court rushing because this is like monumental stuff. Enjoy it.
Yep, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, enjoy it. Conrad, as we're getting out of here, you've been great as always. You know, you've got an open invite to any of our forums. As we start to wind this thing down, any kind of lasting thoughts just on, first of all, on the college basketball as we move into champ week, bids get punched, into regular season for a lot of the major teams, moving forward, just kind of anything you want to leave the people with college basketball wise.
Yeah, enjoy the games because I live near 3 of those small schools that have done some upsets before: St. Bonaventure, Niagara University, and Buffalo. So don't sleep on any of the small teams. And if you are from those local areas, please go out and support them. If you have a chance to ever go to one of these games for the NCAA, the March Madness, it's well worth the money. It's fun. You always have a good time. Do it with some friends and family. Promise you have a good time. And speaking of March Madness, don't you guys have something going on with that?
Oh yes. Well, yeah, we can go ahead and get into it. Yeah, we've got our we've obviously got our first annual Everything College Basketball Tournament Challenge, and this is a paid pool. You guys, I put it out about a month ago. We had overwhelming number of support, and so I hope you guys go ahead and follow through. It's just $5 a bracket. I mean, $5. You spend $5 at the gas station getting a Polar Pop and a thing of candy. $5 for a chance to win you some money back. Come on now. So we're going through the ESPN app for that, and we've got a secure site that'll take your money. So I'm not handling it. Peyton's not handling it. Tyler's not handling the money. There's no rigging here. There's not.
I'll handle it after I beat that ass.
We pride ourselves on being legit, and all the stuff. It'll be under the announcement segment of the Facebook group. If you're just now watching, go to facebook.com/everythingcollegebasketball. Send a thing to join. You'll be accepted just like that, and you'll see them there. The only rule to the game is you must be a member, and I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think fair. We don't want people on the outside just jumping in, and plus you need a password anyway. So, yeah, go do that. Conrad, thanks for that plug. And Conrad, since we have you on here, man, we go, above and beyond. Outside of you doing your own show, I don't think there's a bigger supporter of your podcast than the ECB folks right here. And we plug your stuff hard. I know that since we've teamed up with Premier Giants, our audience has been broader, but that just means the same thing for you, my friend. And I know that there's a lot of our segment people that's been over to your side and converse and join your stuff, listen to your stuff, so it makes me happy on that. But go ahead and let the people know, just in case they've forgotten or whatever, haven't listened to the podcast in a while. Let them know where you're at, what you do.
Folks, my name is Conrad Kushman, and I am the host of Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans. Wait for it. For the fans. And you can find us on Anchor. We are also on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn. Podbean now actually has our stuff up. I'm still working with them with some of the issues that have been going on. It's been emails for like months, but we're finally on there. I have a link for it. If you guys would prefer to listen on Podbean, hit me up. And yeah, just check me out, man. I got a lot of stuff going on there. And my YouTube channel, I think I just got a new subscriber. I think I'm one away from 300. Help
There you go.
There you go.
YouTube, and make sure you subscribe. Just type in Everything Pro Wrestling. And thank you for having me on, guys. I actually have listened to every single show, and I love every episode. I think you guys are getting better and better and better.
Well, cool. We thank you for that. And we tell everybody that if it wasn't for you, you and I have known each other for a couple of years now, and if it wasn't for you and kind of your insistence, it would be Everything College Basketball. And if there's one thing, I know we've had some personal talks, and just keep your head up, dude. We're behind you, and your shit's going to continue to rise. You've got good quality, and the cream always rises to the top. And if you were some way that you were closer, I guarantee you'd be on Premier Giants with us. You'd be right there on the network with us. I guarantee it. I know your show. It's quality. I know how hard you work, and I just hope that our audience understands that. And I hope that anybody else that's listening that listens to your stuff understands how hard you work and how much you put in for them. And we love your show, man. And anything we can do to help you, you just give us a holler, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem. So with that, this is Everything College Basketball presents In the Zone Press. I'm Josh Burton.
I'm Peyton Burton.
Mike Dom wins the Carl Malone Award finalist this year's boys. Mike the Hot Bomb. He's on here right now. I've been looking at this all night. But Tyler Cook, guys. Sorry.
And Conrad, if you want to do it with us, you know how our close goes. And with that, we will. Oh yeah, real quick. This Sunday we're back with Premier Giants live podcast.
Live.
It was such a great response. All of us appreciated it. I expect a bigger show on Sunday live on Facebook in living color, my friend. Listen here, baby. So for that, Everything College Basketball, Everything Pro Wrestling, we will catch you Sunday with another edition.